Hey guys, Shuttle5 here with episode number 27 of the EAFC 24 career mode with West Ham. Today's episode we are kicking it off in the Premier League, taking on Luton, who, they're a team from last year who did survive somehow. I'm not too sure how, but early doors we almost go 1-0 up. Not too bad though, but attacking wise, this is the type of game where we could probably score 4, 5, 6 goals potentially against a Premier League opposition. They are just one of those level teams. They are in the relegation zone. And maybe I spoke too soon because 12 minutes into the game, we go 1-0 down to Luton. Not really what you were expecting. We are, with second or third in the league right now with a game in hand. We can go back to top if we win here today against Luton. Lovely bit of skill from Ansu Fati. He has come in seamlessly, in my opinion, and replaced Kudus. He's not quite got the goals yet, but the attacking output and the threat that he offers down that left-hand side is just as good as what Kudus offered us. And with Tammy on the right-hand side, whips it into the box. Not a bad way to score your first West Ham goal. Ansu Fati on the 33rd minute makes it 1-1 here against Luton. A flying scissor bicycle kick, whatever you want to call it, makes it 1-1. Past Tim Krul, nothing the keeper could have done there. Just too much power, too much speed on the ball, and it was a lovely little finish as Costa, he fancied himself out wide there, put a little ball into Tammy through to Ansu, up against Tom Lockyer. He's faster, he's got more agility, and he's got the finish. And that is basically a complete replica of the goal he scored against us for Brighton last year. He scored a very similar goal where he came up one-on-one against, maybe I think it was Kurt Zouma maybe, and he just did him with a bit of skill, bit of like a shoulder drop, and then he curled it into the opposite corner. Really, really nice piece of skill there from Ansu Fati. We almost, with the kind of perpetrators of our own downfall there, Georgie tried a bit too much for the ball. Got tackled. Thankfully, it went out for a corner or a goal kick, and it didn't result in a goal. So very thankful there. But we're still really 2-1 to the good. There's always a chance in these types of games something like that could happen. Great save from Georgie to deny Giles. First man onto the ball just so happened to be a Luton attacker and not a West Ham defender. Back on level terms at 2-2. And things are dangerous because Luton are attacking us. They feel confident now. They've scored 2 goals against top of the league. They're in the relegation zone, they've got the confidence. They need this win. But we have the superior players, and we have players that can have finishes like that, like our main man Costa, top goal scorer in the Premier League this season for a reason. It's because he can do stuff like that. Fati just got an assist as well. So that's 2 goals, 1 assist for Ansu Fati. Counting down the clock. There's still a chance he could potentially get a hat-trick. Made a couple of substitutions, put on some fresh legs because the Carabao Cup final is the next game that we will be playing, and Wilson sees Ansu Fati. He could have gone himself, unselfishly played it off to the Spaniard to secure a Premier League hat-trick for the new star signing. Very, very, very impressive. We are going to win the game 4-2. A little bit shaky at around that 70th minute mark when they did get their equaliser, but Ansu Fati and the boys saw it out when we win the game. 3 goals, 1 assist, contribute to every goal in that game. This guy right here, he is going to be something special in this West Ham team. But before we get into the game against Preston, of all teams, in the Carabao Cup final, got a little scouting report. Some of our youth players, obviously we are in England, Brazil, and I think it's South Korea right now with our youngsters. Got a couple of them in the academy right now, some of which, he's a 40 rated players. They're not going to get into the squad, so I'm just going to release them. As for the actual scouting reports, we've got a few players in. No one too major, not too in special, but, for some players you like to keep them in the actual report just for a few months, just so you're not actually hiring duds, basically, into the academy. But yeah, overall, it's not been too bad. We have got a very nice little player in the academy right now who, come the end of the season, we probably will promote and give him a few games. But the Carabao Cup, the final. This is what it's all about. Our potential for a first trophy in our West Ham career. It's taken about a year and a half, season and a half, whatever. We are in the final finally. You know, we had the chance in the Europa League last year. We bottled it in the semi-finals against Leverkusen. We are top of the league right now, so there's a chance we could win the Premier League. But Kieran Trippier, I think, gives away his third penalty of the season to start this one. 1-0 down, 11 minutes in. Not looking too good. Now, as for the team in this game, I've gone for a rotation of the first team and a rotation of the backup team. Everyone in the backup team does eventually get minutes on the pitch in this final. You can see Nonto, Archer, Ward-Prowse, a couple of others are playing this one. Obviously, I want Carabao to stay on the pitch, so unfortunately Traore's not going to get too many minutes because he's obviously Carabao, our captain, and we want him to lift the trophy. But a penalty for Preston North End, it's basically the same as a free kick on the edge of the box for James Ward-Prowse. The penalty is basically the same thing because he scores his first free kick of the save. Had a couple of attempts throughout this season and last season. We finally put one in the back of the net. You know, the ones we've had, they've been pretty audacious from long range, but we're getting the perfect opportunity. We put the ball in the back of the net. We're back on level terms. And we've got a real chance here. We've worked our way out from the back really nicely. They were pressing us quite high. Lovely passing, lovely piece of play. Cameron Archer lays it off to Ward-Prowse, and Ward-Prowse grabs his second of the game, puts us in front, and we are leading in the Carabao Cup final, boys. The trophy, at this point, there's no looking back. You know, we gave away a penalty. That's how we conceded. Don't look back. Keep scoring goals. You know, we've been on an insane run in this Carabao Cup. We had the 9-0. We beat United in both legs. We had a great game against Portsmouth. I think we scored 4 against them. Fleetwood, I think we also played them. That was another high-scoring one. We've scored so many goals in this run to the final. And then, just before half-time, what I thought at the time was the goal to secure us the Carabao Cup. You know, they could have put our name on the trophy at half-time. That's how confident I was that we had won it. The confidence was high, and the vibes were flowing in this team, because in the second half, we brought on a couple more of the rotational players from the second team that got us to this final, and they balled out. They balled out hard as Wan-Bissaka plays it into Nonto. Great save from their keeper. Keeps it at 3-1, but Big Harry Maguire scores his first goal for West Ham in the final of the Carabao Cup. Not a bad place to score your first goal for the new club. I mean, the game was basically already over at this point, but what a way to do it. Half an hour remaining, we're 4-1 to the good. You know, like I said, our name should have been on the trophy at this point already, really. That's how high in confidence we were. And thankfully, I'm very thankful that this happened, because Cameron Archer did put the ball into the back of the net. He has been insane in this one. It just would have been unfortunate if he didn't get a goal in the final. You know, he deserved the goal in the final. He got it. And yeah, these cup games and these games he's played recently in the Premier League, he's been brilliant. And he is obviously still very young, actually. I think he's only 22. Almost had a chance there to double I think it was Cameron Archer, double his goal tally in the game. Didn't quite work out, but we are going to recycle the ball. Jarrod Bowen strikes from deep. Well saved, though. And that was that in this game. A comfortable 5-1 victory. I think it's probably the biggest scoreline in the Carabao Cup final since Swansea-Bradford, I want to say. I don't think City have smashed someone in the Carabao Cup that I can remember. What I'll do, I'll leave you with the celebrations, and I'll come back for the final game of the episode in the FA Cup. But yeah, enjoy the celebrations, boys. So there it is. It is official. Carabao Cup winners. You got to think Kudus probably gets a medal. Aged probably gets a medal. Who else do we sell in the winter? Them two mainly. But yeah, coming to this next one, it is in the FA Cup. It's Hull in this competition. Obviously, we had a mix of a rotation and first team in the Carabao Cup final. We're going to have the exact same thing here against Hull in this game. This is, I'm not too sure what round this is, but I think we're progressing quite nicely in this trophy as well. And if we could do a domestic cup double, I wouldn't mind if we didn't win the league, but obviously you'd love to win the domestic treble. However unlikely it could potentially be, but we do go 1-0 up. Tammy Abraham is the man that scores the goal. He didn't score in the Carabao Cup until the semi-finals where he played against United. And the top scorer in that competition, Cameron Archer. So far in the West Ham team, actually overall, I think Cameron Archer is one of the top goal scorers. I don't think he's number one. I think Costa obviously is top goal scorer in the league. He's up there. But what I was going to say, FA Cup as well, Cameron Archer is also the top goal scorer. So he could be on for a double golden boot in his first season here at West Ham in the Carabao Cup and in the FA Cup. But we're 3-0 up here. It's not even half time. Another chance here to add a fourth. Wilson is taken out in the box. James Milner's going to step up. He scored against Wrexham. He scores here against Hull. That's 2 goals for him now in West Ham colours. We're 4-0 up in this one, and we're cruising, you know. Playing better in this one than we did against Preston. You know, these boys proving maybe they should have started in that final. And, you know what? You know, I don't know. 4-1. This game's kind of meaningless after the Preston game. You know, maybe it was a bit of a hangover from the celebrations from that trophy. But, you know, hangover or not, we are smashing Hull. 5-1. Tammy goes and grabs his second of the game. And I feel like a lot of our games in the cup competitions have been at the London Stadium. The Carabao Cup, the only away game I feel like we played was the away leg against United at Old Trafford. I feel like every game so far in that Carabao Cup was, obviously, and the final, was at the London Stadium. We played Wrexham at their home. Now we're playing back at the London Stadium. But Callum Wilson does score in the final few minutes of that one. He makes it, I think, 6 goals to 1. And we're going to go and add the final cherry on top as Wilson just dinks it past, gets quite fortunate, gets quite lucky. He makes it 7 goals to 1 to West Ham against Hull. That's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Just going to show off the Tiger Woods fit there. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and peace.